Hey guys, it's Nick from Nintendo Dads here, coming at you with another review, this time the last day of June. No, we're not reviewing dates. This is the actual video game, the last day of June. So the last day of June's come out on the PC and the PS4, but of course, we here at Nintendo Dads are reviewing the Switch version, which came out about a few weeks ago. Um, this game was developed by Ovosonico, as you see right here, and it was published by, wait for it, 505 Games. So the last day of June could be summed up. You would call it, I guess, a walking simulator slash puzzler game. Basically, you embody numerous different characters trying to change the outcome of a fatal drive home, which is ironic because the video game is actually inspired by Steven Wilson's song Drive Home. So the game story is just as I said. After a day at the lake, it starts to rain and thunder. You guys get in your car and start coming home, and at a very unopportune time for you and your wife, a little boy runs out to get his ball to pick up his soccer ball, and you swerve off the road. Your wife ends up dead, and you end up in a wheelchair. Um, so at that point, when you are in the wheelchair, you find a way through paintings to embody six different characters in this town. You, your wife, and then four others: the child, an older man, which you're seeing right there, a woman, and then another gentleman. And those four people are pretty much like it's like a small village, and those are the villagers around you, your neighbors. Um, and so the goal is to change the fate of that day so that you and your wife can live happily ever after, quite frankly. So this game isn't particularly a hard game. It does have some puzzle elements in the sense of positioning characters in certain places and having to do certain things to try to stop this accident from happening. And the game mechanic is about as simple as a game can be, using two joysticks to walk, a button to interact with the environment, and then a bumper to have your character run. Um, but that's not what this game is about. This game shines in, for me at least, in three different areas. One, what mainly the story that they've put together, and the fact that they tell this story just through the way they animate the characters and through little sounds. There is no text, and there's no text dialogue, and there is no voice dialogue in this entire game. And I think that they can tell such a compelling story without using those things is fascinating and fantastic, and kudos to them. The second is I really do love the art style, and I love the detail of the drawings in this game. I mean, so if you can think back to the dock, you can see the split wood in the dock, and you can see how the planks are in the floorboards there, and everything. They have put so much detail into the art, and they've done that through this entire game that yeah, it's just a joy to watch. Quite frankly, it's a joy to. Sometimes I will actually not even be looking at my character. I'll be looking at the background, or they put a lot of effort into it, and you can tell that. And so the art style is pretty fantastic, and the music would be the third. As I said, this game is actually inspired by Steven Wilson's Drive Home song Drive Home. And you can when the music starts up, it's not used a ton throughout the game, but when the music starts up, you automatically like, oh, there's music, and it's like, oh, it's so good. So all of those elements make this, even though there's not a ton of strategy, there's not in the puzzles, and the game mechanic's pretty simple. It still makes it a really engaging game to play. So the one thing I do want to talk about and touch on here is one of the game elements. It's the main game element, and it works very well until you get about 3/4 of the way in, and then it becomes this moment of drudgery. Here, I'll pause for a second and just let you. This is one of the gentlemen in the village that you can play as, will play as if you play the game. And then here in a second, you're about to see the little boy. He too is one of the characters you will play as if in the game. And then one more time before I start this thing, you will see you'll see the full cast of characters right here. I think I show it maybe. Oh, here we go. That's your full cast of characters. You don't get to play as the dog, unfortunately. That's a real shame. But you get to play as everybody else. And then you'll see the girl come up, and she is another one of the characters. So now you've seen all the characters. So in this room, this is the room where you see all these paintings that you can go to and choose which character you want to play as. As you get through the game, you'll unlock them one at a time. When you have unlocked them all, and you realize, and it might take you a little bit of thought, but it won't take you too long, and you realize, okay, this is what I need to do to get where I want to be. The problem is, now you know, and it's just about spending all this time going back to the beginning, and you might have to reset one character in a different spot, knowing that it's the wrong place for them to be, but you need them there so that you can get another character in the right spot, and then you'll have to go back. So there's probably about an hour, 30 minutes to an hour of gameplay where you are just, you know the solution, but I guess you would just call it video game work to get it into the right spot. And that is the point of drudgery in this game. That is the one downfall. If you can overlook that, then you will have a fantastic time in this game. If you like, these slower style of games. I personally thought it was great. I told a lot of people I've been talking to it, I could have played it or I could have just watched it. The story was that good. I would be fine either way, quite frankly. So guys, my final thoughts on this game. My 2 points of contention on the game are simply, and one I've talked about in length, the drudgery in the third quarter of the game. My second is that I think it has, if you go back to the beginning of my review, watch the blank screen in the rolling car, I think it has some pretty long load times that are certainly noticeable. They're not unbearable, but I think it's exasperated by the fact that we're used to the Switch being so snappy and quick. But other than that, I think the game story is fantastic in the way it's told through animating the character and through just the sounds that the characters make. I think the art style is great and it's fun to watch, and I think the detail in the drawing makes the story pop. Along with that is the music. I think where they have decided to use music and when they have decided to not use it just adds to the tension and the emotion of the story. And so I just I think it's a fantastic game. I'd recommend you pick it up if you like what you see. It's $20 on the US eshop right now, $19.99 to be specific. You'll get about 6 to 8 hours worth of gameplay out of it. Maybe squeeze a couple more hours out if you want to pick up the collectible memories that you can find throughout the game. Right here, just as my final point of how immersive this game can feel, they make you press the A button to be the one to drive the car on that fatal route. No spoilers, I won't spoil anything, but the game is really fantastic. Pick it up if you like what you see. This is Nick from Nintendo Dads signing out. See you later. Game over.